What's up, you guys? Hope you guys are doing awesome. So, very excited to get to the last part of our Guild Wars tutorial series, and I'm super hyped that in 3 days we'll be doing our Magic Eden sale on Polygon. So, very excited to play with you guys on that server. Without further ado, let's get right into the last part. So, as the third version of the Swoop and Defend, if you didn't see the beginner or the intermediate version, I recommend to see those first before following these tips. So first tip would be to maybe consider utilizing the fake out maneuver. So what is it? So before the 10 minutes, before the final 10 minutes of the round, because if someone steals your building within 10 minutes, the final 10 minutes, then they might have a high chance of keeping that building for the final 10 minutes to get those points. So to prevent that, you can leave your building before the 10 minutes and then you immediately try to steal it back from the NPCs. So this is great for being unpredictable and holding against stronger teams. However, you risk the opponent stealing it too. So this is very advanced, right? So you can try to be a lot more crafty with this. Maybe you can play around with the different times. For example, if maybe it has 4 NPCs, so then maybe you could try to steal it like 23 minutes before the ending or something like that. So something very crafty. Then second would be to utilize counter attacks to save more AP long term and to maybe steal back the buildings too. So maybe a enemy steals your building, they use 10 AP, then you use the counter attack to steal it back. Now you only used 5 AP while they burn that 10 AP. So maybe you could repeat this strategy over and over, and then you'll end up saving more AP long term. Thirdly, it would be to track the amount of AP the opponent uses by utilizing the single player leaderboard. So there's a leaderboard where you can check who destroys the amount of buildings and what. So this is a lot more advanced because sometimes the opponent doesn't necessarily use stamina since maybe they're on the victory rush or something. But if you attack and you notice that they spent energy on a certain team, whether that be attacking or defending, you check whether they actually did it or not on the leaderboard, then you can tell how much AP they use, but this is very advanced, okay? Second off, for the third version of Wait and Swoop, you can switch to a weaker character, maybe just like one character, to die against NPCs, to reset the battle timer, to extend it. So this is a very controversial tactic, but it is very effective, especially if you're facing a stronger team. So I remember we did it a lot against the Singularity Guild, and then we did it off against, I don't know how to pronounce her name, but some Chinese characters. Both these teams had way stronger teams than us, but we were able to utilize this tactic to control the buildings and gain more points. Then, I just smashed a bug. That's pretty disgusting, but I will clean that later. Alright, second one would be to memorize the enemy guild's team compositions by taking screenshots of them when they're out in the open. So let's say they have a habit of utilizing miscroll. You take the screenshots, you memorize their teams outside of the miscroll, so that by the time they're in the miscroll, then you can narrow down the options of what teams they're going to put down. Then you can use that to your advantage. You get that information, you see what other buildings they have miscrolls in. Maybe they're using multiple miscrolls so that you can keep track and see which teams are where, so that you can have the highest advantage or highest chance possible to make the best plays. Thirdly, it would be to use airdrop supplies for your guild's strongest teams, including teammates. So let's say you have a teammate that has one super strong team, then maybe they can take out 2 teams at once in a building full of really strong teams. And then once they take out 2 teams, they need another stamina reset. You give them another victory feast, so that you can really coordinate with your team to see who can contribute how. So maybe a teammate has weaker teams, however, they're willing to spend more guild points to buy more victory feasts, so that your teammate with a stronger team who has put in more time, who spent more resources on it to accumulate to get to that point, they don't have to use as many guild points. They can rely on you to use those victory feasts or airdrop supplies. Then other advanced tips would be to coordinate well with your team to save APs of the strongest teams, and to utilize the weaker team's APs more efficiently, so to capture buildings, to slowly capture them, then for the strongest teams, use them to like smash enemy buildings. Secondly, it would be to utilize Victory Rush with the strongest teams on buildings with multiple enemies to burn more AP. So if you're able to keep track of your AP and master that concept, you'll be able to beat most opponents. Thirdly, it would be to get to guild levels 4, 7, 10, and so on, since for every of those 3 levels that you get up to, you get another teammate, and getting another teammate is a big game changer, so getting to that guild level will be really big. Alright, let's get into an interactive quiz. First question would be, an enemy steals your building and you use counter attack to get it back immediately with one team. How much AP did you use? Alright, the answer is 5. So you usually use 10, but with counter attacking, you use only 5 AP. Second question is, you are attacking an enemy building and they keep putting back in their teams. Your teammate's strongest team needs to get rid of their fatigue stacks. What do you use? The answer is airdrop supplies. So very useful for that. Vice versa too. Maybe your teammate has a super strong team in a building, then multiple enemies attack that team. They stack up fatigue for that. Then you use Victory Feast. Third question is, your guild is at level 7. How many teammates can you have? The answer is 11 team members in total. So 10 outside of yourself. 12. I got that totally wrong. So 4 is 11, 7, 12, 10, 13, 13, 14, and so on. Number 4, what tactic can be efficient for sneakily evading stronger enemy teams to continue holding a building? That would be the fake out maneuver tactic. So that's when you sneakily play with the building times so that you can capture back the building from that NPC after leaving it. However, that is a very risky strategy and you risk having the other team steal it, especially to have one of those things that allows you to attack anywhere for 30 minutes. I can't think of it at the top of my mind right now. And maybe they're right next to you or something, or maybe they're closely monitoring that. So maybe it might be a lot riskier to do it on like a higher value building, such as a command center or portal, academies, etc., since you know that the enemy is probably going to watch that carefully. However, you can probably do it on the other ones since they'll not watch it as carefully. And that's it. Yep, so that's all parts of the tutorials for the Guild Wars. And next off will be for the Nightmare City mode. So I'll probably go through all the different modes for that. Probably stream whenever I try to run through that. Then I'll probably create another series of documenting my process of playing on Polygon, playing with other people, and etc., along with any other ideas you guys have. So if you guys have any other fun ideas, feel free to let me know and I'd be happy to do them. So yeah, looking forward to the Magic Eden sale on Tuesday. Looking forward to all the new Definians. So it's very awesome going to the chat, seeing all the new people, saying hi to them, along with seeing the OG members, interact with them and welcoming them. So it's really cool. So I'm very glad that we built the player base the past 2 years on B&B, establishing those close relationships, and now that we're expanding, we're growing as a game studio, we're going to Polygon, etc., that we're able to bring you guys along with us on this journey to create this awesome community. So yeah, that's enough rambling. Thank you guys for watching, and talk to you guys next time.